The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River. The views and opinions
Screw you, taxpayer!
Well,
What a way to open the show. Screw you,
it's
taxpayer.
amazing. It was like you've got ESPN, or is that ESP? I was going to tell you to make sure we led with that, and you did it before we even opened the show. So,
Great minds think alike.
well, welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
And I'm CJ.
And it's Wednesday hump day, and boy, did we get humped again by the state legislature. And we're going to lead off with a great Democratic majority. Senate Democrats reject sales tax holiday and sales tax cut. So don't worry about if there's a ballot question and you vote to cut your sales tax. Don't worry about what you care about. Don't worry about the Massachusetts Constitution. It says they're supposed to work for us and are answerable to us at all time. They do whatever the hell they want. What they do make sure they don't get a tax. They get a tax holiday because they give themselves a pay raise and stipends and all kinds of money. And when are you going to wake up and clean everybody out of there? Every single rep and senator should be out, because this is a travesty in this state. We've got another press release from the Massachusetts Republican Party. Senate Dems stick at the taxpayers and small businesses again. And I'll read from the article from the Lowell Sun. It says, lawmakers have cited sluggish state revenues in declining to pass sales tax holiday. This year, the state corpus are relatively flush, which might make it more feasible. No. You know, we got sluggish revenue. Of course we have sluggish revenue. They should take all these people and put them in Gitmo for about a month and don't waterboard them. Give them economics classes for 23 hours a day and then stick pins in them for an hour. You're going to get a sluggish economy? Of course. You take all the working people's money away in taxes, and the only thing you subsidize is opioids and welfare, and those people don't contribute to the economy because the only thing that gets rich from them is drug dealers, alcohol stores, liquor stores, cigarette stores, and the potato chip aisle in the supermarket.
All right. And
so they don't contribute to the economy. They're out there buying suits, buying pants, buying shirts, going out
buying
to eat,
TVs, buying
no, you know what they do is they buy 3 sets of pajamas and they're all set for about a year in Fall River, and they walk around the street in their flannel pajamas. You know, hey, look. They're ridiculous. These people, and like in Washington, they live in their own world. It's a tale of two cities. They fundamentally don't care. They will never care. And until you understand the only way they will care will be a knee-jerk reaction to you booting a few of them out of that trough, that giant trough that we call a state house.
Well, you know, Kristen Hughes, who is the Mass GOP chairman, said, after an embarrassing session that featured a massive pay hike for themselves and exposed their toxic culture of corruption, Democrats have done everything possible to prove themselves incapable of managing their own affairs, let alone the taxpayers' money.
Who could say that's exactly accurate? I mean, look, I'm an independent. Sometimes the Republicans are a little too, you know, pro-big business, because I believe small business is the backbone of this nation, and big business, you know, mostly all of it's about corporate greed, and to give those people tax breaks, I don't agree with. But she's right. These people do not deserve to run this state, because this state is Taxachusetts. We are one of the highest states in
No question about it.
in the United States to live in. And then, of course, our revenue is dwindling. Half of the people that can move out of this clown show state are going. They're leaving. And the other people don't have enough money to spend. Small businesses are murdered by this. You can't get a tax holiday. You can't get a reduction in the sales tax, which would obviously, like I said, they should be in Gitmo for 23 hours a day getting an economics lesson. Give people money, they might spend it. Working people like to go out to eat once in a while. You take all their money, never give them a tax break. They buy things less frequently because they're paying too much, or they drive over to New Hampshire or some other place and they do their shopping somewhere else. And then these clowns use this as an excuse to screw you even more. Vanna should be on there. We should have her in the background with nothing, just spinning the wheel constantly during the entire show. Because, I mean, this is just, and the arrogance of these people. They don't care. They'll get reelected. They know the morons in their district, they will all chant the same mantra. Get rid of the other rep. Get rid of the other senator. I'm keeping my senator and my rep because I might be able to call him for a favor.
That's right.
You know, so.
Well, you know, interestingly enough, you have two Democratic gubernatorial candidates. You have Gonzalez and Massey. Gonzalez says the annual cost of the Gonzalez progressive agenda, I haven't tallied it all up, but I acknowledge that it's going to cost a lot more. Another Democrat saying charge more. And Massey says, and I'm just going to paraphrase me, he does not rule out the income or sales tax increase. Imagine that.
Yeah, and so now they're going to complain sluggish revenues. They're going to take more money out of your wallet, and they want you to spend more to stimulate the economy. You know, is somebody up there, you know, they want to outlaw guns. That's another thing we're going to hit today. But, you know, they got more bills, knee-jerk bills. But the fact is, there was one particular year, there were actually more murders with hammers than there were with handguns. You know something? Maybe they should outlaw hammers in the State House. Do they sit in between session and bang themselves in the head with hammers? Because some of the things they say defy logic. It's like, and then and people are going to believe them, and then they make these contradictory statements. You know something? I guess this is why in school they let them play with computers all day, and they don't teach them civics, and they don't teach them. They don't force them. I don't even believe. When I went to school, it was mandatory that you took economics as a senior in high school. So you could at least learn a little bit about economics. But these people apparently never took the course, and the voters have never taken the course. Everything they say is just political rhetoric. It's just absolute crap. Because they're telling you that the reason we're not going to give you more money to spend is because you're not spending enough money. So think about that for a minute. Take a deep breath, count to 5, and think about that. If I tell you I'm not going to give you any more money because you're not spending enough money, but I'm going to take more money away from you and expect you to spend more money. Think about that. It's absolutely ludicrous. It is absolutely ludicrous. I mean, it's just, you know, just keep giving out the freebies. Keep giving billions to the opioid plans so all your friends can make money. And screw the taxpayer every day. And then make these pathetic justifications or pseudo-justifications because it makes no economic sense what they say. It's just, it's crazy.
Well, what's crazier is that you've got Bill Galvin, our Secretary of State, who's got to dock 3 employees for running his campaign on state time. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Of course. And you know that if that wasn't if they didn't obviously get caught, he wouldn't have been docking anything because he would have said, good show.
The internal investigation, again, an internal investigation, which means we're going to bury as much as we can, which was conducted by Galvin's first deputy, Brian Lantagni, found that 16 of the employees, 16, identified by the newspaper.
Wait, stop it. Read that fragment, sentence fragment. Identified by the newspapers. So realistically, they were outed by another source, and they were forced to discipline them, because guess what? You're not gonna convince me that they didn't know that 16 people were doing this, just like they don't know that people are selling tickets at the windows at City Hall.
Right. Well, it says they had taken time off when the campaign activities occurred, though 2 of them had used sick time and will instead be charged with vacation or personal hours. The remaining 3,
not abuse of sick leave. They're not going to be charged with abuse of sick leave.
No, of course not.
No.
The remaining 3, according to Lantagni, submitted timesheets indicating a regular work date despite being listed on signature sheets as having delivered the papers during work hours. Lantagni wrote that the use of the official work hours to submit the signature sheets was questionable, and raises an inference that the employees delivered the sheets during work hours. It says they delivered during work hours. How is it an inference?
Well, you know what I got to sit at. Listen to these violations. They took sick leave when sick leave is supposed to be only taken when you're sick. Then you had people who said they were working when they weren't, and fraudulently collecting a paycheck from the state. Now you imagine yourself, Johnny the janitor, Joe the plumber, Norman the normal guy that's working in a normal place. You get caught for these things, you think you're going to get docked? You're not going to get docked. You're going to get a foot in your derriere, and you're going to fly out the door. That's what's going to happen to you. This again, politicians covering for their political hacks, because they got those jobs because they're political hacks. They got caught with their finger in the tail doing things that are illegal, violating rules that any other normal person would be terminated for, and they get docked. So again, corrupt. The statement you read about their corrupt.
Well, here's the kicker. Now it's up to 19 employees. All 19 employees, Galvin said, will receive letters from the Office of Human Resources reminding them of the office conflict of interest and election policies.
You're supposed to take that you're supposed to
know that already.
When you sign, when you get a job, you have to assert that you understand the conflict of interest law, and you actually have to take a class every year in most cases. So again, political crap. They're going to tell you the same old government stuff that we're going to send them a letter and we're going to do this and they shouldn't have done it in the first place. You try that. Like I said, normal worker, try this stuff. See if you can tell your boss, oh, I know there's a law against what I did. I know I violated the contract. I know I called in on sick leave when I wasn't sick. I know that I said I was working and punched my time card when I was out on a golf course. And then see if you get a letter.
Yeah.
And you get a day's pay doc. See if you get a letter, or if you're in the unemployment line. So, like I said, if this doesn't drive you crazy, I mean, I don't know what will. I don't know what is going to precipitate these people, getting people to run against them, and the people of every community in Massachusetts to rise up and clean this swamp out, drain this swamp. Because, I mean, like I said, it's bad enough they do this to you. We know that behind closed doors, there's somebody's cousin that can't find a job is getting a nice, sweet job somewhere. But when you do it so blatantly and so out front in the public, no sales tax holiday again. The hell with the fact that you want to cut the sales tax. We don't want you to. We're going to take more of your money. And remember, we gave ourselves a massive pay raise, massive increases in our stipends, and we go to work every day. And how many people that work for a living and have to commute to Boston or to Electric Boat every day get $100 a day for their travel?
Not too many.
Yeah.
Not too many.
I'm telling you, it's just... the longer you see this, and we've been looking at this a long time, CJ.
It makes you sicker and sicker, but nobody does anything about it.
It makes you, and that's the thing. It disturbs me more. Listen, it's like in a way, I almost don't blame these people. I mean, they're dishonest by nature because they're politicians, and every time they move their lips, they're lying. They got to lie to everybody and pretend they like you even when they don't, which is the luxury of not being a politician. You can tell people you don't like them.
That's right.
Like them. But as I said, they're not the most honest people in the world to begin with. And their circle is all people who deal strictly with one thing: to get elected, stay elected, and steal as much money as they can and get enough money for them and all their friends as they can. But what disturbs me, like I said, you almost can't blame them because they've been doing this for... When was the last time that Massachusetts had a Republican majority in the House?
Never.
Or the Senate? Never. That's right. Never. Remember that. I just wanted to put that because, when a Herald News says historically, and they're talking about for maybe the past 10 years, we're talking about since the Commonwealth was created. We've never had a Republican, or maybe, I don't know, maybe in colonial periods we might have had. But I mean,
not in my lifetime.
As far as records have been kept, to my knowledge, we've never had a Republican majority in the House or in the Senate. So, talk about no checks and balances. The Democrats have run amok in this state for years, regardless of the governor. And again, in a way, look, it's like putting a wolf in a hen house. You're going to be upset when the wolves eat all the chickens. Well, guess what? You can't blame them. It's their nature. It's their nature to take care of themselves and their friends. That's politics. As I said, when you lie to the government, it's a felony. When they lie to you, it's politics. That's what they do. They get these grandiose things. We're going to pass this. We're going to pass that. They do nothing for the working man. They do nothing for the people who actually keep this state afloat, who go to work every day, put in their 40 hours, don't get enough money, then they can't get anything, any kind of break. They just keep taking more money away from you and then censure you, blame you for the economy, not their pay increases. You're not spending enough money
to fund my pay increase.
That's right. And like one of our state senators did, they passed an increase in the liquor tax, and where did he go to buy his liquor?
New Hampshire.
So he didn't contribute to the state's economy either, did he? No. But like I said, you can't blame him. It's like it's like putting a wolf in a hen house. They're gonna, wolves are gonna do what wolves do.
That's right.
Or put wolves in a pack
and politicians are gonna lie, cheat, and steal.
So
that's their nature.
Whose fault is it?
It's ours.
The voters.
That's right. It's our fault.
The voters, because as I think it was Genghis Khan who had one of my favorite quotes. He said, "It is foolish to talk for sheep to talk peace with the wolf." So it's foolish of the voter to expect politicians to be honest unless you make sure they have that sort of Damocles dangling over their head. That means that you're going to boot their butt out if they do stuff like this.
But in Massachusetts, we don't boot anybody out because, again, get rid of your guy, not mine.
That's right. That's their mantra.
Yeah.
Get rid of your rep.
So right now, as we're speaking, there's a gun access bill going on. The state legislature's gun rights organizations is up in arms over the newest version of a red flag gun bill slated for a vote in the House Wednesday. But the legislation original author, Representative Marjorie Decker, accused the local NRA group of trying to spread hysteria without understanding the facts. The House on Wednesday plans to vote on legislation that would allow family or household members to petition the courts to issue an extreme risk protection order, or ERPO, suspending someone's license to carry a firearm and ordering them to surrender their firearms and ammunition if they are believed to be a danger to themselves or other. Something they didn't put here is that if this order is issued, you cannot get your guns back for a year minimum. Minimum. The bill, which passed through the Ways and Means Committee 24-2 Monday, has gained steam through the February high school shooting in Parkland, Florida. And here's the headline in the Boston Herald. Red flag bill faces opposition. But this is Massachusetts. This isn't a shall issue state. This is a may issue state. That means that if a chief of police doesn't want to give you a gun license for any reason, he doesn't have to.
Yeah, even if he doesn't like your politics.
That's right.
And that's the key. And look, Massachusetts, New York State, all the states with the most stringent gun laws, again, we get into the same thing. Every time there's a shooting, there's another gun law, and especially in these states. Yet we have, normally gun crime is worse in the states with the most.
That's right. Look at Chicago.
With the most laws. Chicago, yeah. One of the toughest cities. You know, this is absurd. You don't think that somebody who really wants a gun can't get it, procure an illegal gun? And not only that, I think I don't know if this is the same guy, one of them was making bombs at home. You can learn how to make bombs online today. You don't need to go get a gun. So now if they really want to kill people, instead of bringing a gun into school and maybe not killing everybody in the school, they might build a bomb and blow the school up.
That's right.
You know, I mean, when are these, like I said, it's just like these clowns that say, you know, the economy is sluggish, but then they take more money away from you so you can't contribute to creating a more vibrant economy. These clowns keep thinking that law-abiding citizens who abide by the law are normally the problem. They're not.
That's right.
They're people. Now, mental health checks, yeah, that's what they're saying. But guns, guns don't kill people. People kill people. And if you want to kill somebody, as they've proven so clearly in many countries where American military personnel are dying every day. If you are crazy or a terrorist and you are willing to die to take out somebody, you will. All we have to do is look at how long it took Northern Ireland to stop the madness there. And those people were same ethnicity, they had a difference in religion, and they were shooting and killing each other for years. So why? Did they worry about it? No, because they were zealots. And if you're crazy or you're a zealot, passing these paper laws, which makes it more difficult, and all these knee-jerk bills, are politicians, again, finding a reason to make you think that they pay attention. Most of these people live in gated communities. It's like when the Kennedys were all in favor of busing in South Boston, and they had the riots in South Boston, because people who saved all their lives to get out of Southie had their children bused back into the school district where they left, and obviously, justifiably, in my opinion, they were not happy. The Kennedys were all in favor of it.
A Democrat again.
And yeah, and where do they live? On a compound. Try to get on that compound.
In Hyannisport.
Try to get on that compound. Try to see how close you can come to that compound when you're insulated. And at that time, which was decades ago, I said the same thing I'll say today. You take these people that are so intent on changing your life, stick them in a 3-decker in Fall River with 2 welfare rats on the first floor, a hooker and a junkie on the 3rd floor, and let them occupy the 2nd floor for a year. And give them $22,000 to live on, like the average person in Fall River will live on, and then go pass your laws.
It's definitely tough. But
a tale of two cities, a tale of two worlds.
The worst part about it is we already have a problem with protection orders. you know,
Yeah.
otherwise known as restraining orders.
Being used improperly.
Right, because people, you know, you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend who gets all beat up or doesn't even get beat up. They just say, he hit me. He hit me, and he's got to get arrested, and they issue a restraining order. Now your life is ruined because that restraining order follows you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You're in a divorce. Your wife wants to get away with the kids. He's beating me and the kids. They arrest him. All of a sudden, you disappear. You've left the state. Boom, it's done.
Yeah, not only that, I knew police. I had police officers tell me years ago that they were, you know, they were not happy, but they were bound to do it. There were people going through, you know, acrimonious divorces, or they had couples that were having problems, and they issued a restraining order, and they had a rash of one of the people involved in the issue going every Friday and claiming abuse, because they knew that individual, they didn't want their boyfriend or girlfriend out on the weekend, and they would say they were hit and, you know, physically abused or verbally abused, so they could get thrown in jail on Friday, and you can't make bail until Monday.
Right.
They were going to stay in, and they had no choice. You violated a DRO, a domestic relations order, they're putting you in jail. They don't have a choice. And I know police officers told me I had to arrest people that I knew didn't do it, but they made the allegation, and that's just to get them thrown in jail for the weekend, so they wouldn't be out on the weekend. So look, not that they're not appropriate. I think domestic relation orders are fine. But remember, every time they give you a tool like this, there are going to be abuses. And when you know, and the same thing with gun control. You know,
well, Representative,
look, I believe in the right to carry a gun and to have a gun. But I also believe that you should have a thorough background check. You should have, you know, if there's any mental issues, there should be as many safeguards as you can. But then when they get so extreme that somebody who, you know, if your brother didn't like you, you know, or so you did something to aggravate your brother, he's going to get your guns taken away. This is nuts.
Right. And the thing is, you know, Representative Alan Sylvia was on the radio yesterday. He kept saying, this is a balancing thing between the right to carry a firearm and public safety. This is, you know what? You're just trying to justify your vote. He goes, I don't know which way I'm going to vote yet. We know which way you're going to vote. You're going to vote the way the Speaker of the House wants you to vote. Okay? Because when you're elected as a Democrat to the House of Representatives, you no longer have a mind of your own. Your mind is that of the Speaker of the House. And that's the problem. You don't have a backbone, Mr. Sylvia. I'm sorry, you don't have a backbone. And I'll guarantee you vote yes on this bloody law.
Well, I guess all these laws are working well because we had two shootings and two
shootings in Fall River, and one man was shot in the back.
Two shootings in Fall River. One person's in Rhode Island Hospital.
Because he was shot in the back.
Shot in the back twice. So, see, every day we find shell casings, and there's shots fired almost weekly in Fall River. And I guess all those people have legal guns, right? Didn't everybody, all these people that are, if they do apprehend them, they all went through the severe background checks and stuff. All the gang members with the gang colors, they all go through all the laws that they make you a normal law-abiding citizen attempting to get a gun to either maybe target shoot or to protect themselves and keep in their home. They make you jump through hoops, and then if the police chief doesn't like you, you can be the most law-abiding citizen in the world. If the police chief is friendly with the mayor and you're not, the police chief can yank your gun permit, and you don't have any recourse.
And you don't have to have a dashboard.
And you don't even have to, that's right. And you know, and they can't use the fact that you don't have a dashboard in your car. It doesn't matter. If you've got a dashboard, with or without a dashboard, they want to yank your gun permit. The police chief can yank your gun permit just unilaterally because he doesn't like the way you part your hair or he doesn't like your politics. And that's absolutely wrong.
Nope. And finally, Ocean State job lots opening on Friday.
Yeah, and they put all the new fancy dressing up with the tiff they got while you're paying their taxes. Let's see if we get an extra discount if you're a Fall River resident for paying their taxes.
I don't think so.
Neither do I.
Hey, have a great day, and we'll see you on Friday.
Drain the swamp.